to the podcast. We are doing something very different for season 10. It's going to be just more free. It's very loungy. We're getting our guests to come in later on at night. It's just going to be so much more fun. To be honest, it's just going to be amazing. Anyway, so we're doing something different. It's Wednesday, and Rusk and I have been talking about a few things that are on our mind. And a lot of people want to know, like, what's going on with you guys? We want to know what's going on. So we just got back from a trip to St. Croix, and we were in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, because Rusk and I have been investors on a hotel out there since what year, hon?
2018. Summer of 2018, July to be exact. So this was a project that a couple partners and I had taken upon after I had sold the shop and the property about 6 months later, and they had tipped me off to a potential opportunity zone investment that was just recent new legislation passed by the president at that time, and it was a good way to mitigate, defer some taxes for the sale of the property. So I decided to take a look at it, and it seemed like a great deal. It was two old hotels in St. Croix, one located in Christiansted, St. Croix. The name of the hotel is called King Christian.
Oh, it's a fabulous, beautiful
now
hotel.
It's fabulous. Back then, it was literally a motel. It was not, I wouldn't even rate it.
But it's almost, 300 years old?
Yes, it dates back to the early 1700s.
Right.
And there are some pictures from the 19th century where you can see the original building. And obviously, it's come a long way since then. But even up to the time before we had started on the renovations, it was really in bad shape. Alicia and I had gone out there in the following year, because by the time they closed on the property, and by the time it's the Caribbean islands, things move a little bit slower out there, and so we had gone out there the next spring in 2019. And we met a couple of the partners, and it was the kind of place where one of the partners actually literally picked us up at the airport and handed us a bar of soap. Mm-hmm. And because they knew how we rolled, and he says, "Rusk, it's not your kind of place." And so we're very bougie. Yeah, we're very bougie. So he hands a bar of soap.
By we, I mean Rusk.
And I said, "What's this for?" He goes, "Man, we don't have any soap at the hotel yet." I said, "Oh my God." I looked at Alicia.
Babe, I bet you people think that in our relationship, I'm the one that's bougie and I'm the one that's like super demanding. And it's not that, guys. I'm the one that will go with the flow, and Russ needs to be bougie.
I don't go with the flow. You have to tell me
all the way.
You have to tell me when the flow starts and when I should stop. So because most of the time I just want to create my own flow. Get on the bandwagon.
Get on your bandwagon. Okay.
So we had gone out there, take a look at it, had a lot to do. And over time, over the last 5 years, COVID obviously slowed things down in renovations in terms of supply, labor. We went back a couple years later, and they were about halfway done with it. And now it's turned into an amazing property.
It is.
With the bars, restaurants, the pool has been renovated. The rooms have been completely rehabbed. They've expanded the hotel a little bit. It's honestly the premier hotel, and I'm not biased, but it is beautiful. The guy that was in charge of that was a guy named Chris Pardo.
He's such an amazing architect,
right?
An amazing designer. Like, his aesthetic is something I so subscribe to. I'm like a big super fan of Chris Pardo.
Yeah, a lot of geometric designs, tiles, a lot of asymmetry to the
color contrast, a little bit of color blocking.
Right.
He has a room in this hotel, guys. It is like called I was going to say the
I call it the library room.
It's not, but it's called the Peacock Room.
The Peacock Room, right.
And it's peacock inspired, and so you'll see all the colors of the peacock.
Yep.
There's peacocks everywhere. It's so beautiful. And you'll see it on my Instagram if you're following me at the Alicia at the _ E. You will see some of those things that I posted, because it's such a beautiful, gorgeous room. It's a peacock room.
Yeah, and that used to just be a little game room with the pool table.
Yeah, it was,
And that little game that you play with the little hockey and those guys, you spin the I can't remember what the foosball. Right, there we go. And so that's all gone. It's amazing what they've done with that hotel.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
and it's a great place called Cream Christian Hotel. And there's another property on the north side of the island off the coast that is called the Waves.
The Waves at Cane Bay.
And that's a great romantic kind of little hotel. It's a little boutique hotel. It's only 2 stories. Sure. Great for weddings or after wedding parties.
Couples, getaways. Right. Jamal, when you get a girlfriend, which by the way, y'all, if y'all are looking for a boyfriend, I have a guy here. It's available. And he's a great, great guy, guys. I will endorse. I endorse. How about that? Whose phone is going off? Oh, seriously? Epic fail. This is where you take a girlfriend, Jamal. This place, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. The hold on, it's the Waves. And then the restaurant is called the Ama at Cane Bay. And it's a beautiful, gorgeous place. And you'll see in my videos, in my Instagram, that it's so, so pretty.
Yeah. So that was, we just came back from that trip. We went to check out the finished product. Yeah. You know, we were kept in the loop.
We're doing couples trips a lot now, right,
yes,
baby?
Right.
And you know why?
Kids are older and they don't want to come with us anymore.
We used to drag our kids along on our travels, and all of a sudden they're just like,
It was fun traveling with them, but it's also kind of nice.
We don't want to come with you guys anymore.
You don't have to worry about them anymore.
What happened to the red wine? Babe, talk a little bit about what we're drinking.
We're drinking the 2016 Barolo, which is a region. So Barolo's not the region. Barolo is the sub-region of the area in northwest Italy, close to the Swiss and French borders of Piedmont. And they're known for a particular grape, red grape called Nebbiolo. It's by far my favorite grape varietal. Good. It's a highly tannic, medium to high acid, heavy on the red fruit, and it's just silky, it's sexy, it's always elegant, and it ages very well. I mean, this is a Barolo. This is a Burgundian Pinot Noir on steroids, in my opinion, because it has elevated tannins. And I like tannins. A lot of people don't like tannins. I like that grippiness on the gums. I like that sandpaper feel. I feel like it adds an extra component to wine where most people want the tannins to be integrated, where they want to feel it anymore. So it's almost like a contradiction in terms, because when you're looking for silky wine, you're looking for a wine that doesn't have elevated tannins, but this wine does both. You get the silkiness and you get the tannic structure.
And you know what? I feel like I'm drinking Italy.
Oh, for sure.
I feel Italy when I drink this. Or like when I'm drinking like a Brunello di Montalcino, for me, that feels like, oh my God, I'm back in Italy.
Well, it's very similar to Brunello. Brunello's
Italy.
a Sangiovese grape, and they have very similar characteristics in terms of its style and structure. So that's why you feel like you're drinking a Sangiovese Brunello. And this is one of the penultimate regions of.
How did you pick this wine, by the way? Because this is the wine for tonight. How did you pick that one?
Well, like I said, Barolo is my favorite sub-region.
Okay.
And I like the Nebbiolo grape style. I like the way they grow it. I like how it can age, and it can be light. Most red fruit forward wines don't age very well, with the exception of Burgundy. I mean, there is Grenache too, but most of the people that think of red wines that age are thinking of a lot of combinations of red, black, and blue fruit. This one doesn't have a lot of black and blue. I don't like the herbaceousness. I don't like the green pyrazines that you typically get like in a Bordeaux. I think like you're drinking green bell pepper, and you don't.
No, not at all.
This kind of does not. This is sans that aspect of red wine. That's why I like it. But there's no right or wrong in wine. Everyone has their own personal preference.
And honestly, I can't drink regular wine now because now you spoiled me.
That part you're bougie.
That part I am. Babe, okay, so do you have a competitive instinct?
Oh, I'm extremely competitive.
And is there like a quest for you to be the best?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
That is a question that came up when I was researching a little bit of couples therapy. And I think that's one of the things that always pops up when it comes up with couples. They're competitive. And if they're not competitive at the same level, there's always a problem.
Yes. I can understand.
You and I are competitive at the same level.
At the same level, for sure.
And we've always been that way ever since the very beginning.
We just don't like being mediocre at anything. And when things don't work out for us, or things that didn't go as we thought they would go, we beat ourselves up over it.
We do. as much as I want to say that I'm like wiser at 47 years old, I still beat myself up when I don't succeed at something.
Sure. Well,
and I don't succeed at a lot of things, but I never really talk about that because I hate reviewing my failures and hate talking about when I don't succeed.
Well, I think you've gotten a lot better at that. Just kind of moving on from things that don't work out well. I've always kind of, when it doesn't work out well, I beat myself up over for a few hours and then I kind of get over it and realize.
I want to be that way. I want to be that way where I don't dwell on my failures for days, because it's days for me. Sometimes it's weeks.
Days, yeah. Yep.
You get through things in hours, and then by the next day you're like done and you're over, and then you're on to the next thing. I can't. I have to review every single thing that went wrong.
Yeah, no, it's just, you just have to, I'm not telling you what you have to do. I'm just saying that we both don't take failure or loss well. Mm-mm. And one of us just moves on a little bit faster than the other. But at the end, I think
men do.
I
think know. Women
You're probably going to find some women to disagree with.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's a generalization. Right. That might be.
I just think that you need to just have to learn from your failures. The same thing is just a real basic philosophy in life.
I know, but I can't because you know what? For me, it's like, what did I not do right? Why did I not prepare? Why did I not think this through enough? It's always going back to, why did I not prepare? Why did I not think it through?
Well, there's a lot of things that are always out of our control. Things that we hope that by taking.
But I'm a control freak. I should be able to control all of the factors.
But you can, because you can't,
that go into a decision making.
I mean, for example, we have a property in the market that was on the market longer than we thought it would.
Yes.
We decided that we were going to cover all angles. We analyzed the market.
The
neighborhood was a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But we thought that we can overcome that sketchiness by by replacing the major future assets for a buyer, which was the AC, the insulation, the plumbing, the electrical. We had all new appliances. Right. The only thing we didn't replace was the roof, because we were told the roof was still in decent shape. But we left that up for negotiation. We instructed our agent.
Yes, of course.
That roof can always be something that could be replaced if necessary. But the majority of the assets the assets of improvement for this particular project we had replaced, but the house was still on the market for over 30 days. And this was a particularly ethnic demographic that we thought that we could tap into, A-Leaf, and that are very practical minded of this ethnicity.
Like we are. We're very practical minded people.
We thought that finally that this particular ethnicity could look into and see these improvements.
Yes.
And then probably overlook necessarily that the house was 20 years older than the adjacent neighborhood, which had 20-year newer homes, even though we're in the same price range, but just weren't renovated.
Right.
But it was that psychology that we kept coming up against, that a 20-year-old newer home may not have the renovations, but it's still newer. And it was that psychological hump that we did not. Well, I had the feeling, but I didn't think it would take necessarily this long. Well, finally, until last night, we got a contract for it, but it took this long.
I know, but it took a long time. Like we finished this literally right before spring break because we wanted that time.
Sure.
And it's already May. We didn't get an offer on it. We did not, we could not get this property sold as much as we tried and promoted it and did everything we could to make it super, super, available, super desirable for the people in that neighborhood. We couldn't get it sold. And that's
it bugged us. Because we thought we thought that we had covered all angles of it, and we even left a sign in the living room that said, "Hey, still we're willing to make modifications to suit a buyer's needs."
That didn't make a difference for a lot of people
either, right? So we thought that the only remaining issue on that house was possibly the roof. It was maybe 10. It was determined that the roof was probably in the 10 to 15 years, so it's kind of halfway through its life. But I didn't. But there's a certain limit that you can do on the capital expenditure side without going overboard, and we left that one alone.
And I think people who have heard us before in previous episodes know that we're flippers. We flip. We are investors. we find homes, and the one we just most recently was an A-leaf, and we really tried really hard on that one. And for people like us who are super competitive and like really set goals for ourselves, it's been a ride, because 2020 was great. We did amazing. We bought houses, we sold them. We sold them even on the same freaking day that they were on the listing.
Right.
So we were super happy and excited about that, and we continued doing that. And then 2021 happened. Stuff started to slow down. We were still doing okay. And then 2022 kicked our butt, and we were like, okay, we're not doing this anymore. This is really just, it just affected, I think it affects me.
We took a break in 2022
in a way that I was just like, okay, I just can't keep doing this, because it is stressful. Like, you're managing contractors, you're managing negotiations, you're managing roofers, tile people, carpenters. There's a lot that goes into that.
Yep.
You deal with a lot of like the taxes. You deal with the negotiations with the homeowners association, or whatever else comes along the way. I deal with a lot of like the contractors' issues, and then scheduling, and so many of them were so busy during COVID and they couldn't come.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot that happens. It's like people say, oh, I want to be a flipper, I want to be an investor. It's a lot of work.
Yep.
And it isn't all cut out to be. Like, there's great moments, but there's a lot of lows that happen
it's
too.
It's like any business. There's pros and cons to it all. I mean, there's challenges and trials and tribulations. But, we just don't like losing at things. And I think that's why we decided that we need to take a breather for a little while.
Breather.
Right?
Yeah. And it was good. It was good because then 2023 came along, at the end of 2022, we bought a few houses. And then 2023, we decided, okay, let's do a few flips again. Let's go back and let's get in there again.
Yeah, we got that itch back. We need to do something. We had to keep ourselves busy. So we took on a few projects, and here we are. They're all in the market. They're all under contract, and it's kind of working out a little bit better than, honestly, I hope, because with interest rates being double what they were just a year and a half ago, I thought it'd definitely be a more challenging market. But you learn as you go in any business. You have more experience, capitalize on that experience, you make adjustments, you pivot, and sometimes it still doesn't work out, but it's been working out.
I love that. So next time we come and we get and chat it up, we'll tell you guys how these two houses continue. But yeah.